We have seen over the course of the past 10 days a dramatic acceleration in the buildup of Russian forces and the disposition of those forces in such a way that they could launch a military action essentially at any time.
A critical week in the Ukraine crisis amid growing fears Russia could invade in days. The White House continuing to ring the alarm. The US repeating that its intelligence shows Russia could be planning a fake attack on forces loyal to the Kremlin that would then be used as a reason to invade.
Putin is a master of disinformation. The Russians always create a false pretext for invasion, and so the US is worried that they'll do the same here in Ukraine.
Throughout this crisis, there's only ever been one person who really knows if there'll be an invasion. Russian President Vladimir Putin.
It will start with massive cyber attacks. These cyber attacks will do things like shut down communication, shut down critical infrastructure like water and power to try and create chaos.
Later today, more US forces expected to deploy from Fort Bragg into Eastern Europe to support NATO allies, though they won't be going to Ukraine. Russia's latest movement, a Kilo-class submarine sailing to the Black Sea, where more than 30 Russian ships have been taking part in naval drills. And just across Ukraine's borders, more than 130,000 Russian troops amassing on 3 sides of Ukraine. Russia vehemently denying any intention of invading, accusing the US and others of being hysterical with their warnings. Over the weekend, President Biden speaking with Vladimir Putin without any sign of progress, following the call US officials saying time may be running out for diplomacy. The US has told all American citizens to leave Ukraine immediately as it draws down embassy staff, other nations following suit, with more than 24 countries telling their people to get out now.
After days of protests that brought this crucial trade route between the US and Canada to a standstill, police putting an end to the week-long blockade.
You have a vehicle that's parked in here. We're asking you to move it.
Towing cars and pickup trucks and arresting a handful of protesters. Arashan Singh on the border as authorities moved in.
Law enforcement has made its last push to clear protesters out of the way. They're about a mile from the bridge entrance, and there's no protesters left.
The mayor of Windsor stating the economic crisis at the Ambassador Bridge came to an end, and experts say the reopening of North America's busiest border crossing couldn't come soon enough.
It's just one more thing that is challenging auto production. I would think that plants would start up early next week.
But in Buffalo, similar protests converging at the Peace Bridge. Overseas, large protests against COVID-19 restrictions erupting in the Netherlands. And over the weekend in France, tear gas clouding the Champs-Élysées as police clashed with protesters, more than 50 arrested.